So yesterday, after that video, being always ready to die, I shortly after that, like within 5 minutes, 10 minutes, after I uploaded it, I went to bed and I put the phone on the bedstead and I heard a little sound, and I checked and it was a visitor at the website, my website, goingalone.org. And it notifies me whenever anybody appears there. So I wasn't feeling quite sleepy yet, so I picked up the phone and typed in a little message. Hello, welcome to the site. This is Kurt. It was actually somebody I knew. There's a handful of people now that are regulars there that pop in that I say hi to. And somebody that I recognized. And I was asked a very pointed question. He'd just seen the video, being always ready to die. And he asked me, first he prefaced it with a question if he could ask the question. He asked if he could ask me something personal. Of course, I'm open to any question. And the question was, if I was to die, how would I like to, my final remains disposed of it? And he actually prefaced that he was a retired funeral director, which I knew, but I had forgotten until he had reminded me, which added an interesting, almost literary feel to it. I can imagine the retired funeral director asking you that pointed question of how you would like to have your remains handled. So we had an interesting back and forth, and I explained, and he kind of asked me, he imagined there would be a place under the bridge for me, for my ashes. Because I think I'd said that cremation would be the way. But actually, I led with, not with cremation. Actually, I think he assumed that he assumed correctly, kind of. I explained that my preferred way to go would be to go alone, deep in the desert, lost, and probably suffering. That's actually my preferred way to go. Suffering not for its own sake, of course, but I imagine suffering would be part and parcel of dying in the desert. So I'm resigned to that fact, that it would be part of it. And then I had to explain that it wasn't something that I would seek to do. I have no interest in hurrying to that end. But rather that if I knew that end was my end was coming, that's the end that I would seek. So it would be a suicide. But it would be a deliberate suicide, more like euthanasia in a way, self-inflicted euthanasia, which is suicide, is what it would be. Like, imagine a case if I found out I had a terminal disease, cancer or something like that, and I was really going to go, and I had that confirmed. In fact, in the book Going Alone, there's a bit from the Muse that says exactly that. Then I would make my way out into the desert on a one-way venture. I even know the place I'd go. You'd never find it. It wouldn't be where you'd expect. Or maybe it would. So we had an interesting talk. And he offered to answer any questions I might have about the funeral director's life and experience and the vision in the eyes, the thoughts perhaps. I get kind of literary. I was just imagining the literary character of the funeral director, which almost doesn't seem like a real life character, but it is. People like that really do exist. So that was interesting. But today I want to talk about this objective number 2 in the good life, which is to make good and effective use of time. I begin the day every morning by working my way into the day. When the alarm goes off early. Up until recently, I've been getting up at 4 a.m., but I've been struggling a little bit because work's been very busy, and I've literally been finding myself falling asleep on the bike going home. So I switched it to 5 a.m. now, and I'm still doing my studying in the morning, but I get up, I'm very careful not to check the phone in the middle of the night. That's a good use of time. It sits by the bedside, but that's just for the alarm. If I get up and use the restroom, I don't take the phone with me. And when I get up, I don't look at the phone. I go into the kitchen and get a nice tall glass of clean cold water, and drink that down. kind of get things going. And then I go in and do my morning routine. And as I'm doing that, I'm thinking, kind of warming up the thoughts. It's a good use of time. And when I get back out, I do my Bible study, which I do every morning, which is a really good use of time. And then I make my breakfast. And then on the way down, as I walk down from the apartment down to the motorcycle, I recite the Good Life in my head. And I do it in a very different way now. It's less words, and I say each objective and principle in turn, and I imagine it in my head. I have this almost visual, almost like a cartoon thing that goes through my head. Interesting. I wish I could capture it somehow to share that. And number 2 is the good and effective use of time. It's a very important objective. So today, did I make good use of time? When I got to work, I cataloged. Along the way, I listened to podcasts, a really very good podcast on the way to work. And when I got there, I cataloged the things I wanted to do throughout the day. I got together with the team, talked about what we were going to do. I made sure there was some time to take some rest. I had a good, healthy lunch. I had lunch with a friend that's a bit challenged right now. So we had a good talk, and it wasn't until about 3/4 of the way through the talk that I finally saw what the real situation was and was able to talk with him at a deeper level. That was a good use of time. I had some good heart-to-hearts with some people on the work front. I did a training that came out really well. Actually, that was yesterday, but I produced the training and uploaded the video. Another good use of time. And I made my way home, taking my little dog out for a walk now. And now I'm doing this, which is also a good use of time. So yeah, objective number 2 met for the day. The good and effective use of time. That's it for today. Be safe, but not too safe.